What's up, guys? Welcome back. And in this video, we're going over how to buy wine, especially if you are a beginner or just getting started in a wine and don't really know what to do. Because I totally get it. Sometimes you go to the wine store and you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to buy some wine. And you get there and you're like, I am so overwhelmed. So with that being said, my first tip for you when it comes to buying wine is to go somewhere that actually specializes in wine. I know you've been there where, you don't have any wine at your house and you're going over to a friend's house and you're like, oh shoot, I gotta bring a bottle of wine. And you go to like the nearest store and there's only like 8 wines to choose from and they're not very good. But by going to a store that actually specializes in wine, you're gonna get a way better selection. You're gonna have people that are there that probably know what they're talking about so they can help you. And you could just geek out a little bit more and just, there's nothing wrong with having a bigger selection. Okay, tip number 2, which is really gonna help you out with all this overwhelm in this store that has this massive wine selection, is to have a list or at least an idea of what you would like to buy before you even go into the store. That way you're not walking in and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna buy this that I wasn't expecting to buy, and I'm gonna buy this that I wasn't expecting to buy. And so I'm not telling you to be super specific as far as like, oh, I wanna find a bottle of wine from this producer, but really just, think about what is this wine going to be for? What are you going to be eating with this wine? What's the occasion for? Is it for a weekday or is it for a grand party that you're gonna be throwing? If you have all these things in mind, it's really gonna help you out in just narrowing down your selections so that you're not just like, attracted to all the shiny things in the store and buying a whole bunch of wine that you were never even expecting to buy. I'm not saying that's a terrible thing, but just kind of stay on track here. And I can help you out, of course, with this. My next few tips are gonna help you narrow down this list, but also just watching other videos and educating yourself on wine in general will help you just kind of be like, ooh, you know what? I haven't tried this grape variety before, let's try it. Okay, tip number 3, you might get mad at me, but I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible, is to just be mindful of reviews, scores, and marketing. So we are definitely on information overload in today's day and age. You can go really far down a rabbit hole as far as, looking up wine reviews or score systems. And, guys, honestly, everybody's a critic these days. And at the end of the day, wine is subjective. So please don't let all of this information about, what to buy, what not to buy, overwhelm you. I really try to stay away from doing wine reviews on this channel because what I like, you might hate, there's not a lot of wines out there that are just flat out bad. It's just basically, you might prefer something over a different wine. And a lot of people do reviews to, give their opinion on things. So when you're just getting started, I know that it's easy to want to be told what to buy, but really when it comes down to it, you have to just try new things and figure out what you like on your own. That being said, if there's already somebody that you resonate with, they've recommended wines before and you're like, ooh, I really like this, go for it, please take their recommendations, but don't go to a store and look up on your phone, you're like, oh, what's the rating for this wine? Oh, this wine got 93 points, I'm gonna have to buy that one over the wine that only got 90 points. And on that same note, pay attention to labels, okay? I know there's a lot of really pretty or just fun labels out there, but remember that that's marketing, so don't let that influence every single one of your purchases because that can be bad too. A really fun label does not necessarily translate into the highest quality wine. So if you're drawn to a label just because there's something fun and cute on it, go for it, but don't let that dictate every single one of your purchases. It's a really, really bad habit to get into. My 4th tip for you, which is really important to do before you even get to the store, is to kind of find your happy place on what you are willing to spend on a bottle of wine. Wines come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, you can buy wine for $5 or you could buy wine for like $1,000 and everything in between. So kind of just think about what you're willing to spend on wine before you go to the store so that you're not going in the store and being like, oh my gosh, like, should I buy this $40 wine or should I buy this $30 wine? If you pick that price point prior, it's really gonna help you narrow things down a lot. There's no judgment here. You don't have to spend, $50 a bottle on a bottle of wine if you don't want to. So if you're on a budget, don't feel guilty about only spending $10, $15, $20 on a bottle of wine. All right, so now you know you need a list. You need to go somewhere that actually specializes in wine. You need to know what you're willing to spend on a bottle of wine. Not to get sidetracked with all the pretty fun labels in the wine shop, So let's get into what you actually need to be paying attention to on that label, which leads me into our final tip, which is really like the all-encompassing and, the ongoing kind of homework tip that I have for you, which is to pay attention 2 regions that you are attracted to. So in order to fully do this, you're gonna have to start actually tasting wine that you buy and just paying attention to what you might like and what you're drawn to. So when it comes to regions, in general, the broader a region is, let's just say a bottle of wine that just says flat out California on it. That means the grapes can come from anywhere in California. Usually wines that have larger appellations like that are a little bit more approachable in style, a little bit more appealing to the masses, which is totally fine. But it's not until you start getting into those smaller regions within the bigger regions, so like smaller regions within California, that you can really start seeing differences in profiles and just characters. So start out with the bigger regions if you want to, but start narrowing it down. Instead of maybe California, go to like Sonoma County within California, or go even deeper than that and check out a wine from Russian River Valley or Carneros, and just kind of pay attention to which of these regions you're drawn to. And that way you can go back to the wine shop next time and be like, I really liked this wine from Russian River Valley. What else can I find that's similar to that wine? And this is really gonna help you out with just understanding wine all around and understanding what you like, maybe what you don't like, although you should probably like everything, just saying. And just learning about wine overall. Okay, so obviously I did not give you any specific wines to buy today. Hopefully you know by now that I'm not into that. I want you to go on your own and figure out what you like and what you prefer. But if you are just seriously super, super lost and you're like, I don't know what to do, I did make a cheat sheet for you with some of the wines that you can find in most stores that are kind of like my go-tos, or different regions that I suggest when you're getting started. So I've got the link for that cheat sheet below. You can grab that if you'd like. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Make sure you hit subscribe if you want to keep learning your drink, and leave me any comments below if you have any questions about buying wine. I'm happy to help you out where I can. Have fun finding new wines to try, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.